G'day everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. Welcome to the first proper sit-down video of 2022. And today I'm going to be going over my early AFL 2022 ladder predictions. Now, I feel like it's just a little bit too early to go over my proper predictions, and those will change over the next couple of months. So don't worry, there will be another version of these ladder predictions in either early March or late Feb. But I thought it'd be a good idea to have a look at where I reckon all the teams are going to sit at this point of the season. And yeah, this will just be kickstarting all the AFL content for 2022 because there'll be a fair amount of it. But yeah, 18th spot, I've got Collingwood. Now, it might be a little bit controversial, the Pies, considering they're a big club. I don't actually remember the last time they finished in 18th, but I just feel like they are only going to get worse before they get better. And their performances in the back end of 2021 were pretty shocking. Like BRISBANE, Essendon, they were uncompetitive. They just didn't look like a great list. Collingwood is arguably the team that plays the worst brand of footy, just the most boring, lackluster brand. And they do have aging players as well, a few of them, like at least the ones that come to mind. Jeremy Howe, Sidebottom, Pendlebury. New coach as well. Usually a team with a new coach takes a year or two to click. That's why I have them there. And 17th spot, I've got North Melbourne. Now, North Melbourne, not many people were going to be expecting a team like North to rise up very few spots in the ladder, but I think they definitely will improve. They definitely lifted at the back end of 2021. The first half of 2021, arguably the worst side I've seen play footy for a very long time. But yeah, they've got some promising young players who could really do well for them. I mean, you got Nick Larkey, Stevenson, Phillips, Zerha. The addition to Horn Francis is going to be a massive one. You'll assume he'll slot into their list quite nicely. He could potentially be a match winner a couple times. It'll take them time to get better. I don't see him making the finals for another 3 years at least, but they're in the right direction. They've got a good coach in Noble, and I don't think they'll be woeful next year. Now, for 16th spot, I reckon I'm going to go the Crows. Now, a team that have been floating around this end of the ladder for the last couple seasons. With the ladders, there's always a team that finishes like bottom 4 or 5 that, for whatever reason, always end up sliding into the top 8. But, maybe that'll be a case for the next predictions that I do later. But Adelaide, I don't think they'll be a very good side. They were actually quite competitive against a few of the good sides, like the beat Geelong and Melbourne. But at the same time, they don't have a really good list. They're pretty bad. There's not too much to say about the Crows. And they did beat us, but I think they'll be a slightly more competitive. They'll be a little bit better, but they'll probably still float around the bottom 4 area. I'll be surprised if they finish above the bottom 4. Now, 15th spot, I've got Hawthorn. Now, I've seen a few people in their ladder predictions sort of overestimate the Hawks. Like, they overrate their back end of their year in 2021. And I feel like that's going to be the same for a lot of other teams who did a lot better late in the season last year. Look, they did have a really good end to the season in 2021, but if it wasn't for those last 4 or 5 weeks, they should have finished in the bottom 2, bottom 3, and they weren't a very good side. I mean, Hawks arguably have the worst list in the comp, if I'm being completely honest. And 14th, this is a bit of the biggest call so far in the video. I've got West Coast. Now, I'm sure I'm not the only person here putting the Eagles down very low in the ladder, but yeah, they look completely off it in the back end of 2021. Like, they were really bad. I don't know what it was, but they were just super uncompetitive. And if I'm going to be completely honest, their list is getting worse. Again, they've had I don't know how many, but they've had a few retirees over the last year or so. I think Hearn and Shepherd, a few others, aging players. Not too many young talents being brought up into the lineup, and they didn't do amazing in the draft, I should say. So I just feel like it's a bit of a big call, but they'll be the big sliders in 2022. And I feel like the Eagles might spend a couple of years down at the bottom end of the ladder. Now, 13th, I have a little bit of a boldish call. I don't really know what it is that made me put this team in there, but I've got the Gold Coast Suns. Now, the Suns are a team that, in reality, you would expect them to finish bottom 2, bottom 3, and they probably will, but I just feel like they could get something working. Like, I saw glimpses of them in 2021. I saw glimpses of a good Gold Coast side, with the side that beat the Tigers, the side that beat Sydney, the side that beat GWS. Like, they're a team that can actually perform when they're on, but they're also a team that can be completely abysmal. Massive smashings to Sydney and the Bulldogs. And I think they might be all right. They'll do a little bit better than last year. They've got Took Miller. Rao will have a good year, hopefully. They won't be completely woeful, I don't think. Now, 12th spot, I've got Richmond. A lot of people are saying Richmond are going to be back out, hungry, firing, making the finals. I don't really see it. I feel like the Tigers, they've lost their touch. I don't think they have any more hunger to win another flag. They've already got the 3 out of 4. And judging from where they sort of played in the draft, they did go very heavy. They got a lot of young players in the draft, so it probably suggests that the Tigers are almost looking to start a bit of a rebuild, a mini rebuild. I don't think they'll be down for too many years. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if that like I finish 12th this year and then make the finals next year. I just feel like the Tigers are going to have another mediocre season just like last year. Now, on the 11th spot, I've got Carlton, a team that really should be making finals with the list that they have, as there is shit ton of rain in the background. But it's just the same old for the Carlton Blues. I've tried to back them in previous times, but they just keep on failing. Haven't made finals since 2013. This is arguably the best list they've had since the 2013 season. I mean, they got Shearer. They've, they just should be making finals. And honestly, if I were to pick a team to bolt into the top 5 even, it could potentially be Carlton. You never know. But I'm going to be safe for at least this predictions. I'm going to put the Blues in 11th. And I honestly just feel like there are 10 better sides in the comp than the Blues. Now, 10th spot, I have the Giants. Now, the Giants are a team, definitely a finals-worthy side, like a finals-quality outfit. However, particularly shown in 2021, they are one of the most inconsistent sides in the AFL. I mean, they can go out to GMHBA and beat a side in Geelong, and then they can dish up shite against teams like the Hawks, the Suns. Who else did they lose? They drew to North. So, if I'm going to be completely honest, the Giants are a team that I just can't really back in. They should be making finals, but I don't know. Part of me just doesn't feel like that's going to happen, and they're going to finish 10th. And in 9th spot, I have Essendon. Now, Essendon are a team that, contrary to what you might think me putting in 9th, are going to improve. I reckon they'll still be a good side, and they'll be better than what they were last year. The only reason why they're not in the 8 is because the quality of the teams around them last year are going to be nowhere near as good as the quality of the teams this year. Like, they made the 8 with like 11.5 wins or something like that. Like, they shouldn't have made the 8 the team that the Bombers had last year. It was just the fact that no one else wanted to make it. But I just had the Bombers in 9th. It's almost a trend for the Bombers. When they make finals, they don't make it the next year. When they make finals, they don't make it the next year. But they really should be making finals this year. And I definitely feel like for the Bombers, well, their sort of goal for the year is to win a final. And they really should be doing that. Now, coming into the top 8, and for the first team that I'm going to place is the Fremantle Dockers. They have strengthened their list massively over the off-season. That's enough for me to go, you know what, the Dockers, I reckon they're already enough side to make the finals. They're going to have to make Optus a fortress. They want to try and win at least 7-8 games there to give themselves a real shot, because it's a little bit hard to back a team like the Dockers, who have been circling around the 9 to 14th mark for the last 3 or 4 years. Now, 7th spot, I know this might be a little bit biased to a few, but I've got St Kilda. Now, again, St Kilda had a really shocking year in 2021. We were almost lucky to finish 10th from where we were at, but we had a really good end to the season, and I honestly feel like 2021 is a bit of an anomaly, and we'll be better next year. I'm hoping. I don't know for sure, because I wouldn't be shocked if we fucked things up and finished even 12th, 13th. Our best footy can compete against most other teams' best footy, if I'm going to be completely honest. Like, we can beat most teams on a good day, and I reckon we'll have a good year in 2022, hopefully. Now, 6th spot, I've got Geelong. Then I'll drop off a little bit. I think that loss against the Demons particularly will really push them back, will really set them back from really having a great year in 2022. It's just a sign that I don't think they're going to be hungry enough for 2022. I don't think they're going to have what it takes to be set for a premiership. They still have a really good list, but I just feel like there are a few better teams out there, a few younger teams that are just going to be better than the Cats this year. And I really can't see them doing well at all. I can't see them damaging finals. The best that I could see the Cats doing is potentially make a prelim but go out. Now, Sydney are a team that I reckon will be very close to making the top 4. They, along with probably Port and Melbourne, they finished the season probably in the best form. I mean, I think they only dropped 1 or 2 games in the last 9 or 10 rounds. They were just really, really good. They're one of the most exciting teams to watch. Their young talent is amazing. Only going to get better as time goes on. And with Lance Franklin, he's going to kick 1,000 goals. He'll be up and firing. Potentially, he might be kicking 50+ goals as well. I think the Swans are set for a big year. They could be pushing for a premiership, but I just feel like they'd want to win at the final at least, maybe get to the prelims potentially. Like, they could be a Melbourne of 2018, the Swans this year. I reckon like they really can be damaging and can, yeah, scare a few teams in the top 4. Now, for top 4, the first team I've got in 4th is Brisbane. Now, Brisbane are an interesting side. I reckon this is their last crack at sort of a flag chance or even top 4 chance if they don't make it to at least the grand final. Like, they've got to actually win some finals. Like, the Lions, we can't take the fact that they've been up there in the top 4 for the last 3 years. They haven't even won a prelim. They've only won one final to make it worse. So they're going to start winning finals, the Lions, this year. And I don't know. They've got a really good list still, one of the best in the comp, but potentially they might struggle up forward if Danaher doesn't have a big year this year with Hipwood out for a lot of the season. 3rd place, I got PortAdelaide, another team that I think will, you know, be up there again. One of the best sides in the comp. They are just really consistent. They're a really consistent side. I don't think they've lost a single game to a side outside the top 8, which goes to show that they're just banking the wins that they should be getting, which is, you know, I don't think the Power, honestly, when they finished 2nd, were the 2nd best side in the comp last year. I honestly thought maybe they were the 4th best side, but because they were banking those easy wins, they, you know, were getting the wins and they were helping them, and it helped them in, you know, cementing a top 2 finish. Now, they did have a sticky patch, you know, in the middle of the year where they kept losing to big good sides at home. They do want to work on that. If they can potentially get a few of those wins and still be getting all the easy wins, yeah, top 2 again, good shout. I reckon the Power really should be pushing for a grand final, even a premiership. Now, at least that's the 2 more teams, the 2 teams that played off in the grand final last year, which is a little bit of a boring prediction, but, you know, they're seriously above the rest, those 2 sides, I reckon. But in 2nd, I've got Melbourne. I reckon they're going to be good again. They really didn't have to do anything in the off-season. There's really not much to say. There's nothing that suggests that they're not going to have another really good season. And like, they're going to have another really good season. And hopefully for them, they'll be able to play more games at the MCG with crowds. Like, you wouldn't think there'd be any more interruptions. So if anything, it should even be better for them. And then for 1st place, we've got the Dogs. The only reason I've got the Dogs above the Ds is because, quite honestly, I reckon the Dogs list is just a little bit above the Ds, you know, in terms of talent. And it's rare for a team to finish 1st twice in a row. There's usually a different team that finishes 1st each year. And I just feel like the Dogs, this is their time to shine. I think they really should be aiming for a flag this year. They'll have the hunger after losing that grand final. Most teams don't really have the hunger, but I just feel like the Dogs, they're too classy for that. And they really should be, yeah, striving for a flag. That is it. I don't think I'll be doing any reshuffling because there's no real need. It's not my proper ladder predictions, as I said earlier. I won't even go over my flag predictions nor my medalists or anything like that. I'm just going to keep it at the ladder because, you know, it is a ladder prediction. If you thought my predictions were off, let me know what you reckon. But yeah, thank you all for watching. More footy content coming out. I'm trying to be a little bit more consistent. I had a sort of a couple weeks off, not really being consistent with the uploads, but, you know, the consistency hopefully kickstarts very soon. And yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon in the next one.